I tell you, the best part of me is
wow, that is freaking sick.
Go that way. Yeah, right. Here, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
It's my other.
42 serial number 7559, which puts it under 10,000. And this particular Jeep was built by Ford. And Ford built 278,000 Jeeps, so this is very early in Ford's production.
Wow.
And it's outfitted like a cavalry Jeep, okay? So you got the side mount machine gun, and it's got an operational World War II radio in the back.
First times I ever ate in the field.
Wow.
The second
The
lieutenant.
cavalry were the only ones that actually designated Jeeps as actual combat vehicles. And they had two configurations. One was a machine gun Jeep, and the other was a mortar Jeep. And they had equal numbers of both, okay? But every combat vehicle had to have a radio. So that's why they moved the machine gun to the side, as opposed to a center mount. Okay?
Right. That would usually be in the back?
Besides, you see that post on that Jeep over there?
Yeah.
That would be the normal mount, but that's really a defensive configuration. This is more offensive, because you got a lower profile.
Right.
Besides, if you're out looking for the enemy, you really don't want to be the guy standing in the back of the Jeep.
No, they'll pick you off.
So that's it. Yep. So, but they had to carry all their personal gear and all their ordnance. And with a three-man crew, they ran out of room very quickly.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
So what you would see, like hanging off the back of the Jeep, is what they call a bustle basket. You can see one on the back of that Jeep too. Okay? And they would stow extra stuff in there. That's a wire cutter in the front, because in a combat situation, they always drove with the windshield down.
Yeah.
Okay? And so the wire cutter, politely, it's an anti-decapitation device, okay? Because the enemy would spread wires. Actually, the trooper said both sides did it. If they were vacating an area and they figured that the Germans were coming back in on, that they would string wire, okay? But it didn't matter if it was a friendly wire, unfriendly wire, the results are the same, okay? So that's why the wire cutters.
Can you tell us about any of the other vehicles here? Or this is just your main one?
Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah.
That's a deuce-and-a-half truck over here. Okay, that's actually a bomb truck.
Wow.
All right, so you see the rail on top, and it's got a chain hoist there.
Yeah.
So they would pick up bombs, load them in there, and then drive them out, and move the bombs to the planes and whatnot. That's a 50 caliber ring up over the cab. They would mount a 50 caliber machine gun on there. As you can see, there's a ring too, but it's got an armor plate around the outside.
Right.
That's on top of that's a half track over there.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a tracked vehicle, but it steers with wheels in the front.
Let's go over to it.
Sure.
that's how you can afford all this.
Yes. Storm.
Are you a real general?
Major.
Oh, major.
This is really cool.
Yeah, this is a half track, okay? Initially, like it was issued as a white scout car, but it's armor plated, so it's extremely heavy, and it was a four-wheeled vehicle. They found out very quickly that it was next to useless because the minute you get off the road into a field, four wheels trying to hold up an armored vehicle, it just sinks in the mud, okay? So what they did is they changed out the back, they put tracks on it, all right, and that was much more satisfactory under those conditions. They did make a number of the wheeled vehicles, and they shipped them overseas, but they gave them to the Free French Army. They figured the French can deal with the, sinking in the mud. The Americans, they use the half tracks. Okay.
This is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's actually
You
got
guys so pumped to come?
where the camo net is on top there. It's resting on top of an armor plate that folds down in front of the windshield. So it's got like little slits that they could look through.
Yeah, they're already dead.
What kind of gun is that on top?
That's a 50 caliber. That's a 50 caliber machine gun. What you had on the Jeep, that's a 30 caliber.
Yeah, that truck over there.
The bullets must be huge.
Oh, 50 cal, yeah. The bullet itself is about that long, and then the cartridge is maybe about that long.
Where would you get them?
Hey, Kenny, do you have any 50 caliber rounds?
No, I do not.
You didn't bring any? Okay.
It didn't look like that, though.
There's some in the box.
I'm sure.
And this is a motorcycle?
Over here.
Yeah. World War II motorcycle? Kenny, you need air in your front tire. Right?
Yeah, I know. I got to put a new tire on there, too.
Okay.
I'm trying to build up my biceps.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, here you got.
Just
That's actually
mortar?
a field organ.
A field organ.
Yeah. You pump it, okay, for church services.
Yeah.
All right, so you got the two pedals that pumps the bellows, and then you can play the organ. As a matter of fact, I had two cousins from Germany come over to visit, and they're concert organists, and they were invited over to put on a recital in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. So I invited them over to Brian's, or Brian invited us over to show us this field organ that he had,
Yeah.
and they actually played on it. And we fixed it for him because one of the bellows was disconnected, so we repaired it for him, and then we got pictures of them playing on the organ.
Wow.
You know?
That's cool.
Yeah, and this is a 60 millimeter mortar.
Wow.
That's a 50 caliber machine gun. There you see the rounds.
Here's the bullets.
There's the bullets, okay? That's quite a bit heavier than a 30 caliber.
How heavy are these? Because do two people carry this or one
Well,
person?
the 30 caliber, just the machine gun is about 30 pounds.
Right.
So this thing's probably about 50 pounds.
Okay. 50 caliber, 50 pounds.
Yeah, I would say, to move it, you'd have two guys carrying it. It's got a grab handle here where you can pick it up in the front, and somebody would hold it in the back.
Right.
And then somebody else would carry the tripod.
Okay.
But you got to be between 17 and 24 years old if you can carry that thing. Okay? After that, it becomes iffy.
Yeah.
And that's a 30 caliber. That's the same identical gun that's on the Jeep over there that you saw, except this is water cooled. That one's air cooled.
Oh, there's the water.
Yeah, and the thing, what they would call this the heavy machine gun for a 30 caliber, where that was the light one. And it's heavy simply because of weight. It didn't shoot anything, heavier duty. That's the 50 cal. They're still using this in Afghanistan, and up to this day they still use the 50 caliber machine gun.
Wow.
And of course they have different versions of the 30 caliber machine gun nowadays.
Okay.
With a faster cyclic rate of fire.
Yeah. What's up with that looks like a scooter. This guy over here.
That's a little scooter, yeah. It's an airborne scooter. And it's got a little airborne trailer in the back, and they could actually. That's usually an ammo cart, something like that. But that could be parachuted out of an airplane. Same thing with the scooter, and then they'd have something for transport on the ground for the airborne troops.
Thank you. Your name again?
Norm DAUERER.
Norman Down.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll
Thank
give
you.
you a card if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, hang on.
Average person on staff, they make sure their schedule is full. Oh, I would add they're saying, I mean, for the entire thing.
I like that with eyeshadow.
Is it the same capsule as
No.
Okay.
Nope. Bigger and better.
Are there any other ones?
all of you for participating in what will be closing an absolutely wonderful, fabulous year and celebrating Putnam County's birthday. And before we do that, why don't we just give one more big happy birthday, Putnam County. Here's to the next 200 years. I want to make a special mention that Congresswoman Hayworth was here earlier this afternoon. She joined us as we celebrated Veterans Day, which is such a special day to all of us here in Putnam County. To anyone who doesn't understand what Putnam County is really all about, it's about patriotism, it's about the love of our country, it's about family, it's about fellowship, and it's about our core values. And Congresswoman Hayworth has truly represented all of them for us, not only as Putnam County residents, but as Americans in sum total. And we certainly, while we are saddened at the fact that she won't be representing us, we know that she will never truly be far from us. So with that, we will present the colors in a minute or so. Les, I hope the colors will be coming in from both sides. To the right. Your right or my right? No, I'm kidding.
You're always on stage right.
I'm always right. Thank you, Paul.
That's why I'm here, you know. One-liners.
And I hear them. Listen up. Here they are, being led by the Stephen Driscoll Band. Presenting the colors for us today, we have the Fraternal Order of Police, the Knights of Columbus, Troop 14 of the Boy Scouts, Troop 1 of the METAK Boy Scouts, METAK Post 5491, Veterans of Foreign War. We also have the American Legion Post 270, our Civil Air Patrol, Troop 440 from Patterson, Troop 371 from Hopak, a Girl Scout Troop, Carmel 1080, METAK 2655, Girl Scouts 27th Brigade. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce former County Executive, Mr. Paul Eldridge.
Come over here.
But they can do that, but this one right now.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. I don't want to lose sight of the fact that obviously this is Veterans Day. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day today, and it's an opportunity for us to remember all veterans and all members of the armed services. Driving down Route 9 over in Phillipstown, where I live, just below Route 301, there is a billboard, and on that billboard, it's an advertisement and a recruitment ad for the Marines. And it has a picture of a young man in full dress uniform saluting. And under the picture of the Marine is a statement that says, a commitment to something greater than themselves. And when I think of our veterans, I think of our military service personnel serving today in various parts of the world. That's what I think of. I think of the commitment that each of them have made. It's not easy to give up a number of years of your life to serve your country, but our past veterans, those that have gone before us, and current military service personnel should be remembered not only today, but should be remembered every day for all that they do for us. They've given us our freedom, they maintain our freedom. And I'd like to take this moment to just applaud every veteran in this audience today and to thank them for their service. Truly appreciative of all that you do and you have done. I do want to take one moment also to just think back a year ago. I stood up here with this young lady next to me, and I can actually say that.
I'm your boss.
Well, yeah, besides the fact that she's my boss. It was kind of cold that day, but it was a very exciting day, and I just want to acknowledge the fact that Mary Ellen Odell, our 5th County Executive, has just completed her first year of service as our County Executive. She especially, there was a little bit of an option around that time of the actual date, and she picked and wanted it to be Veterans Day. And I think that's appropriate. I want to thank you for all that you've done this year, all that you've done with your team, all that you've done in conjunction with the county legislature. And I know what we've seen in the first year, we're going to see a lot more of that over the next several years. So thank you again.
Thank you, Paul.
At this time, I'd like to invite up Father Anthony Sorgi from St. James the Apostle Church for our invocation.
Most appropriately, let us ask Almighty God to be with us during these moments today. On this Veterans Day, just having passed the birthday of the Marine Corps, we remember all of the veterans living and deceased that are here among us, and those in our families and in our communities that have passed away. We remember in a very special way those who have passed away from World War I, when this holiday was inaugurated. So let us bow our heads and ask for God's blessing. We invoke you, O Lord, today, you who are the founder of family and community, you who are a God that cares for us and loves us. and our families. Bless all of those in our military. Bless every family in our county. Let them always know to keep you at the center of their life, for it is there that will grow to a love of their family and the family of the community of Putnam County. We thank you for the opportunity to celebrate this year and all of the rich blessings that you pour upon us. May it continue for another century at least. Which blessings may our gracious God bestow upon us, for he is Lord forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father Sergi. It's now my distinct honor and pleasure to ask our Director of Veterans Affairs and a good friend of mine, Carl Rohde, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Carl.
Thank you, Paul. Just before I lead you in the pledge, I just want to say one thing, and I usually conclude when I talk with this, but I want to do it one more time because it is Veterans Day. So I want to say the 5 reasons that we're free. And you can start going along with me. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard.
And the Merchant Marines.
And the Merchant Marines, actually 6 weeks, I forgot. Putnam County is 6 weeks, and that's why we're free. As we're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, remember to follow very closely, because we do remedial Pledge of Allegiance in Putnam County. There is no, after under God, there is not a comma. It's one straight sentence. So please face the flag of our nation and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. In their heart salute, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. I always appreciate that reminder. And now a special honor, really, and that's to introduce our Honorable Robert Tendy, who is the supervisor of the town of Putnam Valley, and he's going to sing the national anthem.
Actually, we are going to sing the national anthem, so please join in with me.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
My turn? I wouldn't even attempt it after that. We do have a special team here with us today, centered in front of us. This group of very brave Americans is led by Major Richard Wiest, commander of the task force, who they were deployed here to help and assist us through Hurricane Sandy. And I have to say I had some time on Thursday night to meet these fine men and women, and it really is an honor and a privilege that they were able to share with us today. And I know that Major has some certificates and some certificates of appreciation and words that he'd like to share with us. Major?
thank you. I'll try to make my comments short. I wasn't kind of expecting this, but I really love Veterans Day because of the fact it reminds me not only of the people that served in the past, people that served in the present, and people who are going to be serving in the future, but the fact that anybody in the National Guard, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Merchant Marines, or Coast Guard, they can't be successful without the people behind them, and that's you. And that was so proven this week, this past 10 days, when my task force was located down at Paladin Center, and all the support we got from you. And it was quite overwhelming. And our purpose here today is just to come by and thank you so much, because we can't be successful without you. And the National Guard is really, it's you. It's the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, the aunts, the uncles. It's everybody. And even if you're not wearing a uniform and you're serving in your own small way, that makes all of you heroes and all of you veterans. So I'd like to thank you again for all of your support in Putnam County this past week and your continued support. And I dropped off some certificates here for hopefully maybe your time capsule. And I'll just read what one of them says here. It says, the people of Putnam County, Task Force Orion is grateful for your exceptional care and devotion to mission and soldiers during the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. Your selfless support of Task Force Orion and your professionalism throughout Operation Empire Restore is a testament to your loyalty and dedication to this state and nation. So again, from the bottom of my heart, bottom of our hearts, and from the grateful National Guard, we thank you for all the support you've given us.
They were a quiet presence, but they were a strong presence. At this time, I would like to introduce the Director of Tourism from Putnam County, our good friend, and my good friend, Mrs. Libby PATAK.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful day it is when we are allowed the opportunity to thank those who serve in our country, to serve our country. And when I say I serve my troops and I support my troops, I really mean that, because my two sons are active military. So one is a captain in the Marine Corps, and one is a second lieutenant in the United States Army at Fort Drum. So, you know, I can say to two troops in the United States military, I love you. I wouldn't dare say that to more than those two. But we do. We all love them, and we all recognize that our military today is second to none and represents the gold standard in our country of the best of the American character. And this year has been absolutely extraordinary in Putnam County, because we were so privileged to have a rare snapshot into exactly what life was like 50 years ago when we unveiled the time capsule that was buried in 1962. Today we're going to be burying the new time capsule. To be very honest with you, I don't believe that Putnam County has changed that much. A lot of you were a lot younger in 1962, and certainly in 50 years, we're all definitely going to be a lot older if we're even lucky enough to be here. But the values of Putnam County are values that resonate through time. They are the values of loyalty to one another, good neighborliness. We've seen it this week. We had the most blistering storm in recent history, and Putnam County, of all the counties surrounding us, came out of it so beautifully, because all our emergency services were so prepared, worked so hard. Everybody helped one another. Everybody rose to the occasion. Many's the time I went down a road and I saw the National Guard out. Everybody pulled together. Everybody at the Paladin Center. We really did show the rest of the state exactly how we do it. And in Putnam County, we did it so well. Thanks to our county executive and her amazing crew. I'm so grateful to have so many people here who played a small part in coming into our office week after week and bringing us mementos of their organizations, of people that they hold dear, their children, their troops. We had Indian groups, we had Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, we had many, many groups. And 50 years ago, what we pulled out recently in June, we pulled out a lot of paper. We pulled out newspapers and many things that were on paper, and what we're putting in I can't reveal, but it's very, very interesting. It's very different. We've had tremendous participation from the people of the county, so I want to thank all of you for really honoring history today and making it so worthwhile to be a Putnam County resident. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce someone who I can honestly say is the heart and soul of this bicentennial celebration. He's certainly the heart and soul of what each and every one of us expected when we came to Putnam County, what we expected our neighbors and our friends to be like. Legislator Richard Othamer is really the man who set the tone for this bicentennial celebration. So I'd like to thank Rich personally and ask him if he could make a few remarks for us.
I'll make it real quick. I was here in 1962. If I'm here in 2062, I'll be 106 years old, but maybe with science nowadays, I'll make it. Just a couple quick things here, and happy Veterans Day to all of my fellow veterans. I'm going to be helping out here setting the time capsule in the Masonry Chamber, and I just want to mention today we have representatives from every town here. We have the football players from the high schools. Did anyone from Haldane ever show up? Do we have any Haldane players? Any students from Haldane here? If there are, step forward. But we have players from Brewster High School, which congratulations, they had an undefeated season this year. We go to the Bicentennial Championship team. We have Mahopac, Carmel, Putnam Valley, and we have Kennedy Catholic. A lot of our residents play ball for Kennedy Catholic, but they're going to represent their different towns here today. Quickly, the county executive's husband, Dave Odell, and I played ball against each other. He played for Carmel, I played for Mahopac. And back in the day, they used to have the Putnam County All-Stars in the newspapers. People from the papers, hint, hint. It used to be just the high schools, no Westchester, no Dutchess, just Putnam County teams. But anyway.
He's very subtle.
That's all I really have to say. And all you young people that are out here today, remember this day. And in 50 years from now, if you can attend, be here. Just keep it in the back of your mind as the years go on. And maybe you can be here in 2062. But I wish the county well, and that's about it.
Sell the book.
Oh, we did put out a bicentennial history book. You can get it into the county office. You can purchase it at the county office building or through the county historian's office. Through a veteran, it's $50 a piece. They're really good books. They're going fast. So anyone wants to stop in during the daytime in the county lobby or contact the county historian's office, you can purchase it, and it's going to be a keepsake. And that's it. And thanks for everyone for coming out.
Thank you, Richard. Truly the real deal, Mr. Richard Othamer, Legislator Othamer. The next speaker we have is our county historian, Mr. Dennis Castelli. Dennis Castelli has also served his country honorably, and we're grateful. Dennis, are you going to take pictures and speak at the same time? Because he completely multitasks. Ladies and gentlemen, an honored veteran himself who serves our country honorably in the Vietnam War, Mr. Dennis Castelli.
Thank you so much. As the county historian, dates are important to me, and this one's particularly important because it's Mary Ellen's anniversary. 11/11/11. We're really glad to have her here. What a good idea. The troops that are here, at ease, please. I have somebody tell me this. Not that I thought of. Well, we've met as well. I wanted to just give you a little personal story. On Thursday night, I went to Brewster High School to listen to an extraordinary concert by the Brewster High School students and some extraordinary speeches by veterans. And they were truly wonderful. And I was invited the next day to go to the C.V. Starr School and speak to third graders and fifth graders. In the United States of America, I'm pretty disgusted with what I've seen, what we see on Letterman or Leno, where they interview college students and they ask them what century World War II was in, and they mumble for the answer because they don't know. That doesn't happen in Putnam County. In Putnam County,
We were the root of this country. We spread our interests across the country. We have been patriots from day one, and now I know why. I'm looking at third graders and fifth graders who know what the Army is, and the Navy, and the Marines. I'm listening to them thank veterans for their service and the debt that they have. I believe that we have the most patriotic county I have ever encountered. Every town, every village has a monument, a memorial, an honor roll, a statue, something. And every one of them, the reason this event was held at 2 o'clock in the afternoon was because we knew every individual town and village was having a ceremony this morning to honor veterans. As a veteran, as a Vietnam vet, I can't thank this county enough for the way you've made us feel. And I want to say, he's going to really be ticked with me, but I want to say a special thank you to a buddy of mine, Steve Slide back there. He and I were on the ground together in Vietnam 45 years ago. He lives in Putnam Valley now. I live in Southeast. I'd like to invite our archaeologist, Eugene Bosch, to say a few words, and then I'll take this microphone back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. I can't do anything but reiterate what Dennis had just said. The historic past of this county, the military history of this county is something that is so important and is so there and is such a part of our American heritage. From everything from the Fishkill Supply Depot, although in Dutchess County, to the Revolutionary War encampments at Red Mills, to Constitution Island and the Revolutionary War materials at the West Point area, to our cemeteries here that have many, many veterans interred. And I think it's really important not only to remember the veterans now from this generation and the greatest generation, the last one, but to remember our past and the military history of our past, not for the military history's sake, but for what it did to us to give us our freedom to really be here. And I really think that all of you, as part of the one community, to really get a hold of the American system, that you should visit all these sites. And the only other last thing I want to say is that I just want to thank not only the veterans that are here, but I want to thank their families, because their children, their parents, their wives, they're all veterans just as much as the actual on-duty soldiers were. So I congratulate you all, and thank you for being here.
Well, we have a few, we just want to make some introductions. Thank you. Just give that a second. Show off. Tim, it's our Carmel Volunteer Ambulance Corps, who is the primary first responder today. I would just, before we move on to the events that we're all waiting for, I would just like to introduce and make special note of some very special honored guests that have joined us today. We have Councilwoman from Putnam Valley, Jackie Anabi, who's here to give us a Putnam Valley Day t-shirt. That is here in the Capsule, Jackie. Thank you so much.
This is from the town of Putnam Valley. I want to hopefully get this in there. We have a beautiful emblem to honor our county for their bicentennial from 1812 to 2012. It was made by our students at Putnam Valley Elementary School and Putnam Valley Middle School for our 9th.
Thank you, Jackie. And you have already met the supervisor from Putnam Valley, Mr. Bob Tendy. Our Deputy County Executive, Mr. Bruce Walker, who, it should be noted, is also known as Mr. Storm from now on. The former county executive you did already meet, Mr. Paul Aljuch. We have County Legislator Roger Gross. Congratulations, Roger, on your re-election. We have the newly elected Mrs. Barbara Scuchamara, representing Third County. Congratulations. Barbara might be a new face to the legislature, but she really isn't. She's been working hand in hand with many of us, and we're really looking forward to Barbara joining the team. We have, geez, I almost said former legislator Dan Birmingham. Oh, gosh. Dan, why don't you come on up? We have legislator Dan Birmingham, who turns out.
Thank you, and happy Bicentennial to everybody, and hopefully we'll all be here in 50 years to see actually what gets put into the time capsule.
You're only 33.
I'll be 72 at the time, so I plan on being here. So thank you.
As long as you're not on the ledge, I don't care, Dan. All right. And I mean that in a loving way, you know that. We have legislator Carl Albano, representing District 5 here, the hamlet of Carmel. We have a very special guest. We have the former Carmel Town Supervisor, as well as the former Deputy County Executive, Mr. Frank Del Campo. And you already have met the Honorable Richard Othamer. And we have the Town of Carmel Supervisor, Mr. Kenny Schmidt. Who's going to have closing remarks? A special, very special individual, a longtime resident of Putnam County, and just a very, very strong advocate for making sure that Putnam County is always in the right direction. And the gentleman who crafted the time capsule, Mr. Henry Boyd, is here. And unless I left anyone out, all right, if I did, you weren't that important. Or I just don't like it. I'm kidding. We have some other guests here today that are somewhere in this beautiful field of faces, and that's Joanne Riccoboni, who did the video for the entire year for the Bicentennial. Joanne, are you here? Joanne? Thank you, Joanne. Hang in there. Henry Boyd, we acknowledge. Brian Benedict, who put on that fabulous display in the back of the military interactive display. Brian, are you back up front here today? If you have not seen it, please go on back and see that, visit the back. The Knights of Columbus and the Grand Knight Joe Sinisi for joining us in today's celebration. Joe, were you with the Grand Knights? And the football players, as Legislator Othamer, I'm sure you guys probably want to rush back to get the 4 o'clock game, so we'll let you cut out in a minute, but thank you for joining us, and it's all you guys now, it's your future. The color guards, again, we want to thank you folks for displaying our beautiful colors, and the Paladin group. What a wonderful, wonderful group of individuals. We're so blessed to have such entrepreneurs here. You know, if this nation had entrepreneurs like them in every town, we wouldn't have this economic issue. So I want to thank Felix and his team. Are you guys around? For helping us run this. They help us with all the Bicentennial events, but I'll tell you, they were extremely critical during the storm event. It was their property that they allowed the staging for the refueling of all the utility trucks this week. So with that, I just want to, my remarks are, I'm sort of a history buff and a little bit of a geek, and I was thinking about the 1960s, probably one of the most interesting times in American history, and I thought about them because this time capsule will be opened in the 2060s. And so maybe we can just sort of, at some point in time, you know, wrap our heads around what 2062, how it will be different from 1962. In 1962, there was rioting on the University of Mississippi campus following a black student named James Meredith attempting to enroll in college. The first Walmart discount stores opened in Arkansas, and the first Kmart department store opened in Michigan. John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth during the Friendship 7 orbit, and the oral polio vaccine was given to millions of children to combat polio. Here's a good one. 90% of households had a television. Johnny Carson took over the hosting duties of The Tonight Show, and the Yankees won the World Series. Yeah. Let's hope you don't have to wait 100 more for that. On the world stage, the Cuban Missile Crisis ended, and the standoff between two world powers, the USA and Russia, ends when our president stands firm and orders a blockade, and the Russians back down. So, in that time, by the time the 50 years had passed, the 1964 Civil Rights Act was passed, and the barriers of discrimination and segregation are no longer an issue. Both Walmart and Kmart are now shopping dynasties in the United States. And this year, the nation mourned the passing of that true American hero, John Glenn. And the disease polio became virtually non-existent, only to be replaced by the horror and the pain of the AIDS virus, whose mysterious origins complicated by research and furthered the disease. The average U.S. household, check this out, 90% of households had a TV in the 60s. Now we have 3 per household, and we have an average of 118 channels to access. And the Yankees, obviously, we know how that worked out. On September 11th, the United States was attacked by a series of 4 coordinated suicide attacks by 19 terrorists, resulting in the deaths of 3,000 innocent people. And today, unfortunately, we're a nation of war. The promise for a bright future for our children 50 years from now is in our hands. And what lies in the balance between mankind, Mother Nature, and technology will determine where we are as a society in the next 50 years. And I truly believe in the talent and the achievement of the American people. And I believe in the resolve of New Yorkers, and especially those who believe that Putnam County is the American dream. I'm proud that we honor our first responders, and I'm proud that we honor our veterans, and I'm proud that we're a county that says the Pledge of Allegiance with the proud emphasis that we are one nation under God. As we close this 200th birthday, I'd like to thank the Bicentennial Committee, who worked so tirelessly so that we could celebrate and embrace our history. Former County Executive Paul Eldridge, Richard Othamer, Dennis Castelli, our Director of Tourism, Libby PATAK, Krista Butler from the Legislative Office, my Chief of Staff, Patricia Simone, and all of the volunteers from this community who made this year so very special. And as always, it is truly my honor to serve the people of Putnam County as your county executive. And on this Veterans Day, let us remember the service of our veterans, and let us renew our resolve to honor and to be grateful to those veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much so that we can live free as Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, Assemblyman Steve Katz.
Certainly it's an honor to be here, and I'll just say three things really quickly. Number one, we're here for the veterans today, to honor them, to honor their service to us, and we could be speaking German or Russian were it not for our veterans. So God bless you all. Thank you very much. Number two, I was just reelected in my campaign, and I just want to say I was only reelected because of you. Putnam County pulled me through. So to have seen, that level of trust moved me tremendously, and it's you, Putnam, that I thank, and I'll continue doing exactly what I intend to do, what I said I would do, and it's all in the county. Thank you so much. Number three, I was here during the storm, and I want to say I never saw such a tight, coordinated team headed by our county executive, Mary Ellen Odell, and Bruce Walker, Adam Stiebling. I won't go through everybody, but my goodness, nobody pulled through the storm like Putnam, and it was really on account of the team. And I want to say I'm very proud to be part of this team, and I'm very proud to be a part of Putnam County. Thank you, and God bless the veterans today.
Thank you. And as we close this ceremony, I would like to invite the very beautiful and very talented Ms. Angelina Mendez to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her
Highway, Mr. Fred Penna, who not only had to open our roads last week, but made sure that he and his staff, Fred, come on up, he and his staff rebuilt the time capsule that Legislator Otterberg destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Commissioner of Highway. He and his team worked so very hard to get 115 roads open. From Tuesday morning by Friday night, we were open for business. Thank you. Thank you, Fred. Okay, we're moving it in.
I want to break ranks here. Best we get the players. One guy get a first bear over here. Get one of the players get on the stone. Yeah, get out one punch on.
Again, I'd like to thank the DAUERER bagpipes. And as we replace the capsule,
Move left. Hold back. Come on, show your turkey, man. Watch your fingers, guys. Watch your fingers. Come on, Brewster.
ladies and gentlemen, you just became part of American and Putnam County history. Thank you all very much.
Gianna is the young lady from Putnam Valley who designed the t-shirt for Putnam Valley Day that we're putting in the capsule. How long did it take you to do? Maybe like 20 minutes. Really? Wow, you're really good. Anything you'd like to say to the people of Putnam County today? You're a good girl. We'll see you in 50 years, all right? Okay.